Hi, my name is Miss Maria, and I'm going to share a story with you today. At the end of the story, there will be some questions. You'll know the questions are coming because they'll start with, I wonder. These questions are the kind where there's no right or wrong answer. You might hear a question and just know what the answer is. There might be another question that you have many answers to. And maybe there will be a question you don't have any answers to. Or maybe you don't even understand the question. And all of that is okay. You can say as many or as few answers as you have. If you're watching this with someone else, you might even have different answers than the other person has. And that's okay too. So, let's get ourselves ready to enter the story. The people of God came into the promised land. When David became king, he gathered all of the people of God from the north and the south into one group. He took Jerusalem from the Jebusite people and called it the city of God. David and the people of God began to live in Jerusalem, but something was missing. It was the ark. David and his army went to get the ark. When they brought the ark in through the gate, King David danced before it. David set up a tent of meeting and put the ark inside. David was not allowed to build a house for God because he was a man of war. His son Solomon would build the temple. All of the people had to help build the temple. Some went to the north to Lebanon to cut down and bring home great cedar trees. They cut stones out of the mountains nearby and prepared the wood and stone to begin. The temple began to grow, and people were amazed. There was a great hall for people to come close to God. And there was an inner room called the Holy of Holies, which was for the ark. The high priest entered only on the Day of Atonement, the holiest day of the year. The temple was beautiful, with carvings of olive wood and gold. The great timbers of cedar made it smell wonderful. Inside the temple were the same things that helped them get ready to meet God when they were in the desert. The ark was carried inside by the priests. Here is the altar for incense. Fragrant smoke filled the temple as the incense burned. Here is the table with the bread for each of the 12 tribes on it. And finally, here's the menorah with the 7 branches and lamps for burning. On the day the priests first carried the ark inside, a great cloud of dazzling light filled the temple. God was there. In front of the temple, there was an altar for sacrifice, as it had been in front of the tent. But now it was bigger. The same was true for the great basin of water, the laver. On the day all was ready, the king came before all the people and prayed. He said, "O Lord, God of Israel, there is no God like you, in heaven above or on earth beneath, keeping covenant and showing steadfast love to your servants who walk before you with all their heart. But will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, heaven and the highest heaven cannot contain you. How much less this house which I have built? Yet have regard to the prayer of your servant and to his supplication." He asked God to allow God's name to abide in the temple. He asked God to make this a place for people to come to pray and to find justice. Solomon ruled well and wise. Some said he was wiser than anyone in the world. His father had become famous for his songs and war, but Solomon was famous for his wise sayings and the temple. Finally, after being king for 40 years, Solomon died and was buried in the city of David, where his father was buried, and Solomon's son was made king. Now, I wonder what part of the story you liked best. I wonder what part of the story is most important. I wonder where you are in the story. I wonder what part of the story is about you. I wonder if there is any part of the story we could leave out and still have the story. When you go to Jerusalem today, the temple is gone. It was destroyed when the people of God were taken into exile. It was rebuilt but destroyed again and rebuilt again in Jesus' time by Herod. In 70 CE, Herod's temple was destroyed by the Roman army. Only pieces are left today. If the temple is gone and no one can find the ark, I wonder where the 10 best ways to live are kept today.